J.D. Westbrook, stays in bounds at the 40. J.D. Westbrook inside the 30-yard line, along the left sideline, inside the 10, to the 5, into the end zone, touchdown! Bortles to J.D. Westbrook for the touchdown!
Jaguars football is on the air. This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick and Mike Dempsey have all the news and information you need to get you ready for today's game. The Publix Tailgate Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, Geico, Ticket Exchange, and by TIAA Bank. Now to get things started, here are Mike Dempsey and JP Shadrick.
It's week 3 in the National Football League, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are in the midst of a 3-game September homestand. The Tennessee Titans at 1-1 face Jaguars at 2-0. AFC South play gets underway. Kickoff set for 1 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field. Today's game is by Universal Orlando Resort. 3 amazing theme parks, the most awesome hotels, epic on every level. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. We're at the HananiahAutos.com studio at TIAA Bank Field. Division play here, and it finally matters.
Well, look, it all matters.
No, this is really matters, Mike. Right, come on.
This may matter a little more, but they all matter. You mentioned the Titans 1-1, a surprising 1-1, and that's a dangerous team, JP. It's easy to overlook them. They've had issues on the offensive line. Blaine Gabbert's supposed to get the start in place of Marcus Mariota for the second week in a row, yet they found a way without both of their starting offensive tackles last week and their primary backup to beat the Houston Texans, primarily because of big plays on special. Juan expected to be back today to beef up that offensive line. This is not, I don't think, going to be all that easy for Jacksonville.
We'll see. It rarely is against these guys. It's always a tight game against the Titans, a physical battle in the trenches. It always feels that way.
Sure, I think the Jags are the better team on paper. I thought they were the better team late in the season last year, and I understand Tennessee's motivation trying to get into the playoffs. I think the Jags were plenty motivated for that game. I remember the attitudes of the players in the locker room. I think they were up for it. Look, Tennessee had their number last year. The Jags are the division champs. Tennessee feels like, hey, we were the better team because we beat you head-to-head twice. Time for the Jacksonville Jaguars to shut them up early in the season and get a little breathing room in the AFC South.
Compared to last week, it feels darn like autumn outside today. In the mid to high 80s at kickoff.
It is autumn.
Right? Officially,
yeah.
It is. Stay hydrated today if you're headed downtown for this football game. Let's get to the top stories, starting off with divisional play, kicking off. For head coach Doug Marrone, it's been easy to get the team focused this week, even after the big win over New England.
Divisional opponent early in the season, things of that nature, all those things I think contribute to it. And obviously that's what it is. I think right now, we had a home opener on the road in New York, which is a real tough physical game. We had a home opener here, at New England, which is a tough physical game. We know we're going to get into a tough physical game with our division opponent. So I think for us right now, we're trying to make sure that, we manage this schedule and we get ourselves back. We're like kind of, banged up a little bit.
Yeah, he's not lying. The physical game in New York, they ran the ball a bunch with Fournette. He got banged up, and it's just that kind of a grind game. Last time out, the offense kind of opened up a little bit more, but it's still a tough game against a really good football team. But, yeah, division is the focus this week. This team's not too high at 2-0. They know what's ahead here.
Look, the schedule makers did the Jaguars a huge favor, and I mean this, right? When you've looked at the schedule before the season, said, wow, that first month is going to tell the tale, right? You got 3 home games. You got to play the Patriots. You got to play the Titans. The Giants we figure to be improved on the road. And you've got this massive setup for the Patriots game. You've got all the hype, and they came with it, and they lived up to the hype. The Jags' performance lived up to it. If you're playing a random, let's say, an NFC East team that's on your schedule this week, I'm not saying they wouldn't get up for the game, but there's no question this Tennessee team will have their focus. Obviously, they swept them last year. Blaine Gabbert beat them last year with the Arizona Cardinals. Deion Lewis, one of their primary weapons on offense, is the guy who fumbled the ball that Myles Jack recovered, and he's still all kinds of layers to this game, JP, never mind the fact that it's just an AFC South tilt.
The offense had that different feel last week. Blake Bortles had the big game. Leonard Fournette was not available last week against the Patriots, and for the Jaguars quarterback, how the offense is built changes a little bit depending on 27's availability.
I don't know if you can say it's because Leonard's not out there. We've had big games throwing the ball when Leonard's been in there. I think there's definitely a little bit more of an emphasis on throwing the ball when Leonard's not in there. We can't do some of the stuff that our offense is built around doing when he's healthy and in there. with some of our other backs. They maybe do things better, differently rather than some downhill things and some runs that Leonard, is really good at. But I think more so than anything, it's guys just, stepping up and wanting to kind of pick up the slack, for not having Leonard out there.
There are national reports this morning saying that Leonard will not go in this game, and actives are an hour before kickoff. We'll get those to you in the PR department. But, it's a different feel when he's not in there because when he's in, he's going to get 20, 25 carries, and they're going to run the football. A lot of those are going to be between the tackles, and that's what this offense is. When he's not in there, what does the defense focus on? It kind of opens things up a bit.
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was a masterful play-calling game by Nate Hackett last week, and maybe his best here as a Jacksonville Jaguar coach, and really had the Patriots off balance. You're right. They didn't know, was the run coming? Was it going to be a screen to one of the running backs? Really deep into that game, you thought, I think most reasonable people thought, if you start running the ball in the lead, we're going to be okay with that. And they even then were throwing the ball on first down, JP. This all comes from the stats, though. In the last couple of years, 4-0 without Leonard Fournette, or more points per game. Mm-hmm. They average more yards per passing attempt. They pass for way more yards. And I don't think that's necessarily just because Leonard's not in there. It is the style of play. I think the challenge, whether he plays today or he comes back next week or beyond, is can you integrate him into a more versatile offense that we saw last week? How dangerous would that look?
What's amazing, though, in those 4 games that Leonard has not been in there, the Jags actually average more rushing yards in those games than they do with Leonard in. It's crazy to think about.
Some of it, you got to wonder.
Some of it's different.
And some of it's what opponents did they play when he wasn't there. But I think there's something to Blake Bortles feeling like, you know what, we don't just have to turn around and hand the rock to this guy 20 times.
The play call enjoys that.
Sometimes everything's clicking, and I think that in that game, we challenged those guys big. We really challenged them. I mean, big time. And it was more because of what happened in the past. It was a little bit because they're the best team. In my opinion, probably the best team in the NFL. One of them. So it was one of those things. We challenged all the guys early in the week and say, hey, look, this is they're going to cause a lot of one-on-ones, and so everybody's going to have their own one-on-one battle. And I think that game, our guys won a lot of one-on-one battles, and I think that's what ended up showing on the stat board.
They certainly responded last week against the New England Patriots. Now let's flip it around. Jaguars defense had a solid game last week against New England. This week, the question all week has been which quarterback will play for the Tennessee Titans. The reports this morning are that Blaine Gabbert would make the start again. And for linebacker Telvin Smith, whether it's Mariota or Gabbert, doesn't really matter to the Jaguars defensive captain.
Put him on the field. You know what I mean? We got something to I keep not wanting to dig back in the old bag, but hey, and it's tough because I went out that shit against Arrow. I ain't forgot.
Yeah, he forgot it all. Telvin Smith, good for a soundbite. Blaine Gabbert got him with Arizona last year. Mariota got him a couple times in the regular season, too. So 0-for-3 against these two quarterbacks.
Yeah, and you look at Mariota and you think, oh, boy, he's so dangerous because on 3rd and 7, if you're playing man, he could tuck it and pick up that first down. Blake Gabbert's a pretty mobile guy as well. Now, maybe in a different way than Mariota is, but for a man his size, he can absolutely run. And Blake Gabbert was fired up about that victory last year. Don't think that he doesn't enjoy sticking it to the Jaguars. Go every opportunity he gets. Hopefully he won't get that opportunity. Hopefully the Jags shut down that opportunity for him today. But he will be personally fired up to play this football game.
Always a battle when these two get together, even on the outside with cornerback Jalen Ramsey.
It's probably realistic. They're a very physical team, but we are too. They had our number last year for sure, but we don't try to live in the past. We're not gonna continue to talk about that. That's not something that self-motivated. We motivate each other internally, and it's a game that we do feel we have to go out there and be physical. Take it to them and do whatever we have to do to win this game.
Good matchups on the outside today as well, with the former first-round pick out there, Davis for Tennessee, and Jalen Ramsey, and how they defend today will be an interesting part of this football game. Top stories for today. Let's go around. Some teams are starting to warm up a little bit. one team got a win on Thursday night for the first time in a long time, and Week 3's underway already.
Yeah, Browns won for the first time since 2016, only the second time since 2015, despite the fact that Baker Mayfield came off the bench on Thursday night to lead the Browns to that victory. Browns head coach Hugh Jackson delaying announcing his Week 4 starting quarterback until tomorrow. Now, at this point, okay, if Jackson announces Tyrod Taylor or anyone else other than Mayfield as the starter, it may go down as the biggest upset in quarterback decision-making since the Jets drafted Ken O'Brien over Dan Marino back in 1983. Who are you fooling, Hugh Jackson? Are you kidding me? He may be fired on the spot if Baker Mayfield is not the starter the rest of the way. Not lost in this. He outdueled Sam Darnold, who they selected.
Yes.
So the owner looks good now, right? And he's happy, and he wants to roll with his guy. As many as a half dozen or even more starting running backs expected to miss their team's respective games this weekend. JP, as you mentioned, according to multiple reports, the Jags could be without Leonard Fournette, given his hamstring another week to heal. Backup TJ Yeldon, however, is expected to go, despite being listed as questionable with an ankle injury. Elsewhere, the Vikings without Dalvin Cook. He's dealing with his own hamstring issues. The Eagles' Jay Ajayi is out with a back injury. Devontae Freeman misses his second straight game for the Falcons with knee trouble. Joe Mixon won't see Bengals. He had his knee scoped last Saturday. Marlon Mack once again out for the Colts with multiple ailments. And LaShawn McCoy iffy to play today against the Minnesota Vikings. He did make the trip to Minneapolis, though. And speaking of the Colts, who we mentioned there, the Jags and Titans matchup of AFC South foes, Indianapolis and Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. It's the return of Carson Wentz from multiple torn knee ligaments, and the 0-2 Houston Texans will host the equally winless New York Giants.
As we always say, somebody's O has got to go in that football game.
Not necessarily. We may have our third tie in as many weeks.
That's
How about
possible.
that? I mean, it's been historic with back-to-back weeks with a tie to open the season.
That's a look around the National Football League. We'll go back around it a little bit later today. We're just getting started on the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll return with first rounds on us. Jeff Lageman and Tony Sully join us in the studio with a game preview. The Titans and the Jaguars tee it up at 1 o'clock. And from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this is Jaguars Radio.
I just saved hundreds of dollars to Geico. I've never felt more alive.
Disclaimer. Geico cannot guarantee you will feel more alive. You either possess functioning respiratory and circulatory systems, or you do not, or you are a zombie. If you are indeed a brain-starved zombie and you would like to save money on car insurance, the Geico legal team applauds your excellent life choices, even in your shambling afterlife. But we strongly encourage you to visit geico.com or download the Geico app. Please stay a minimum of 500 feet away from our large and presumably delicious, delicious brains.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Hello, I'm Eddie Farah. If you've been injured in an auto accident, someone may ask you to sign a release. Don't do it. Without consulting a lawyer, you may be signing away your rights. Do it and your case for free. We represent accident victims. There's never a charge to talk about your case, and we're only paid when we collect for you. Call us at 396-5555. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979. Office, Jacksonville.
Jags fans, looking to buy a home or refinance your mortgage? Reap the rewards of going with TIAA Bank, official bank of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Competitive rates, a range of lending options, and unbeatable service are just some of what sets us apart on the playing field. Connect with a TIAA Bank mortgage expert today by visiting them online at TIAABank.com/lending team. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, Equal Housing Lender.
Jaguars fans, Ashley Home Store is where you'll find the perfect Tempur-Pedic mattress to power your life. As the #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer in America and the official furniture and mattress store of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Ashley Home Store offers Jaguars fans special pricing and 72 months no-interest financing. Just tell them the Jaguars sent you. Plus, a portion of every mattress sold helps provide free beds to local children in need. Shop for Tempur-Pedic at Ashley Home Store today and go Jaguars. Subject to credit approval. See store for details.
Who's the Jaguars MVP? At Mellow Mushroom, it all depends on their favorite ingredients. Each month of the 2018 season, Mellow Mushroom will highlight a Jaguars player's most valuable pizza and raise money for a charity of their choice. This September, try the Funky Q and support Blake Bortles and the Blake Bortles Foundation and its work with first responders and individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Visit mellowmushroom.com and find a restaurant location near you. Jaguars fans, your favorite bag boys are back in town. Don't miss out on loads of fun when Jaguars players make an appearance at Publix on October 2nd to help bag your groceries on behalf of Tide. The Jaguars know even amateur-level athletes get a professional-level stink, so they want you to use Tide Pods after your big game. Come out to the Publix in the Nocatee Town Center in Ponte Vedra on October 2nd and purchase Tide Pods to receive a Jaguars reusable grocery bag and meet some Jaguars players.
JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the HannahNeal.com studio at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Titans and the Jaguars start division play today at 1 o'clock. JTA's Game Day Express is back and ready for action. Don't get stuck in game day traffic today. Park at any of the 5 convenient locations and then hop on board and take it to the bank. It's time for First Rounds on Us.
New York Jets, first round choice, Jeff Lageman.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have selected tackle, Southern California, Tony Baselli.
Only way to the top is looking out for number 1, and that's us looking out for number 1.
We welcome in our resident first-round picks. 1989, the New York Jets selected Jeff Lageman from the University of Virginia.
Who was victorious, by the way.
They won, yes.
Nobody cares, including the fans of Virginia who don't show up to the game.
Tony Baselli, 1995 to the Jaguars from the University of Southern California.
Who
lost yesterday?
No,
they won.
Thank
Blocked
you.
field goal.
Let's get it right.
Yeah.
And it was Friday night, too, was it yesterday?
I
was reaching.
Yeah, that's okay.
Good try.
Good morning, to talk to you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Does it matter if it's Blaine or Mariota? What's the difference?
Mariota gives you more of a run threat in the zone read that's killed this team in the past with big runs and inopportune times. So that's the only difference. Blaine probably actually throws it a little bit better. But so I don't think either are great. I don't think Mariota's very good. I think you saw that last year. And the question is can Blaine Gabbert beat this great defense twice? I say no. I don't think lightning can strike twice in this place.
He did it last year. Cast of characters as well, so I don't know.
But Larry Fitzgerald's pretty strong cast of character.
To answer your question, Mariota's much better than Blaine Gabbert. Much better. I mean, we're not talking, Hall of Fame level, but I mean, he's a better quarterback than Blaine Gabbert. He's a starter for a reason. So yeah, it matters that Mariota's not playing and Gabbert's playing, and hopefully they can do a better job against Blaine Gabbert than they did last year when he was with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Tony on the Mariota thing. I think he's a little bit overrated.
Yeah,
you look at his season he had last year.
Go look at the numbers. Go watch him. I mean, outside.
I'm not saying he's. I'm not saying he's great. It's just
that's the only thing he
better
has
than Blaine
over,
Gabbert.
But only because he can scramble and run and the zone read. That's it.
Well, I mean, with a rushing attack, I mean that helps. But I mean, here's the deal. Is it going to make a huge difference for the Titans in this ball game having Gabbert and Mariota? No, it's not.
All right, the debate this week here has been the difference that Leonard Fournette makes in this offense, right? We've all seen the numbers. Jaguars' offense has flourished in the 4 games they played without him in the last season plus. May or may not play today. National reports indicate he won't. Can they or should they try to integrate him, Jeff, in the offense they ran last week, or does it go back to being a smash-mouth, 20 carries between the tackles offense as soon as he's healthy?
Well, I don't think he's going to play, to your point, first off. So I think you're going to see more of what you saw out of this team against the Patriots. Now, this is a much better defense than the Patriots. I mean, they have better personnel. They got some really good players, but I still think this team's best when it's playing out of that 11 and 12 personnel, spreading it out, getting being more aggressive than just running between the tackles and kind of that power formation. So yes, I think whenever Leonard Fournette's hamstring is healed, and we'll find out next week if it's the time, that's how they should play. That's where they're most effective. Now the question is, and none of us, well, at least I don't know it, is that what's best for Leonard Fournette? I mean, is that maximizing his skill set? I imagine the answer is no, because that's why they go back to that kind of 2-back downhill power run football style when he's in the game.
Leonard Fournette is, and Tony's what he's saying is that the other backs are better in a 1-back set, whether it's 3 wide receivers or it's 2 tight ends.
Well, I'm not saying it's much better in 1-back, Jeff, but in that spread, a lot of zone read, outside zone type of thing, where Leonard is more of a one-cut downhill.
Well, he's kind of a hammer, but my
you can do that.
Look, if you draft a running back that high, he should be able to function in any kind of offense, whether you're in zone read, whether you're downhill. What doesn't matter. He's got to be able to function in. And what's best for the football team? That's what's the important thing. It's not. But I do think that the coaches have different game plans that they will utilize on a week. Be aggressive. So I think they're going to do multiple things and try to keep teams off balance where you play the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. Well, they don't feel the need to score a lot of points, so why take unnecessary risk? I think it's going to be very similar in today's ballgame. Playing the Tennessee Titans with an offense that doesn't have the ability to score a lot of points, that relies on Derrick Henry to the point of 2.9 yards per carry. They're not scared about them scoring a lot of points, particularly against your defense, and I don't think they're going to be overly aggressive in today's game, even without Fournette. If he,
I don't know what they're going to do. And neither does Jeff or anyone else up sitting here. We can have our opinions. What I think they should do is keep it aggressive and keep getting guys in space. That's what they're best at. That's how they play when they're up tempo. I'm not saying no huddle to the opposing defense. I don't care if you're playing the Bills, the Titans, or the Patriots, or whoever you're playing. If that's how you operate best, and that's where you get the best results, that's what you should do.
Jaguars offensive line without Cam Robinson. He's done for the year. Josh Wells steps in for the Jags against this defensive front for Tennessee. That matches your confidence level on the left tackle.
Before I get to that, I think let's watch the entire offensive line because I'm not sure A.J. Cann, who's been on the injury report all week.
Tricep, and by the way, he did have that last year, and when he was on the injury report for the very same injury last year, he didn't play well in those weeks that he was on the injury report for triceps.
And I think there's a question whether he's going to play it all today. I'm not sure A.J. Cann suits up today based on, reading the reports and everything else.
And if he doesn't, I would expect
it'll be
to
Chris
probably
Reed.
be the starter at guard. Shatley would still be the swing guy.
That's right. I think Chris Reed starts there.
If that happens.
Going to, if you look at the situation at left tackle, Josh Wells, I thought he played well. I mean, was it great? No. But was it good enough to play winning football? Absolutely. Gave him a couple pressures. That's fine. And not to beat up Cam Robinson because he's hurt, but there was a couple pressures early before Josh Wells got hurt from that side. Now, this is a much different animal this week because Brian Orakpo, while he's not the Orakpo of the Redskin days and even early Titan days when he was a upper echelon pass rusher, he's still a very good player. And it will be a very good test for Josh Wells today. It's going to be tough because Orakpo can speed you, he has power, he has a good inside move. I imagine you have to run it back at him a couple times, chip a little bit. And that's just what you're going to have to do the rest of the year with Josh Wells out there. Not that he's a bad player, but he's a swing tackle for a reason. He's a good player. He played well, and I think they can – is it going to affect them football games this year?
Blocker. I think in pass protection they're probably about even. So the challenge in today's game is Orakpo, but it's also a little bit of Jarrell Casey because Casey will kick out and rush the tackle. You may have Josh Wells trying to block Jarrell Casey, who had a monster game last week and who is one hell of a football player.
Very good.
And the other thing is, long term, how long can Josh Wells stay healthy? He hasn't been able to stay healthy in his career.
That's probably the biggest question, I think, right there.
We'll see.
When you guys played, was it ever tough when you had a big regular season opponent, a big hype game to get up for the next one? I think that, as we were talking about earlier, schedule makers certainly did the Jags a favor because they shouldn't have any problem getting focused for this particular team.
You shouldn't have to get ready. You shouldn't have to get pumped. You should not have a hard time getting pumped up for a division game. I mean, my goodness, especially a team that's
that's right. Obviously,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Especially
but
a team that's
coming off a big game.
No, I don't think so. I mean, once you get into the rhythm of it, every game's big. I mean, and I don't know what their schedule and how they handle it now, but the one thing is very clear, regardless of win, lose, or draw, when we played game,
he was usually more miserable after a win.
Yeah, I mean, he
really was.
He wanted to make sure
you were uncomfortable.
That you were uncomfortable.
And let me echo this because Tom Coughlin was always more miserable after a win, and this week Doug Marrone was kind of like, what is it, Downer Debbie? JP, I mean,
Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer,
yes.
Okay, and he was like Tom Coughlin-esque this week after the Patriots' big win.
Debbie Downer.
Or Downer Debbie.
Or either way.
Whatever. We got you, Jeff.
We got it. We'll come back. Fantasy around the corner. My dominant in week 3. A little later, Jacksonville, this is Jaguars Radio.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. We never forget that it's your money. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Lori Fournette, mother of Jacksonville Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette. My son is always prepared with a game day plan, and so am I. As a busy mom, I'm always looking for easy ways to save time. Publix helps me tackle everything from pre-game prep to post-game cleanup with prices that are never out of bounds.
This week at Publix, assorted varieties of Old Spice Red, Wild, or Fresh deodorant is on sale for $3.99.
Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Attention Jags fans, this is your chance for you and 3 of your friends to fly to Houston to see the Jaguars take on the Houston Texans December 30th. All you have to do is download the free Money Pages app today, and you can enter to win airfare, hotel stay, and tickets to the big game, all covered. The savings don't stop there. When you download the free Money Pages mobile app, you'll unlock great local savings on the go. So it's simple. Pick up your phone, go to the App Store, and search for the free Money Pages app. Good luck, and go Jaguars.
Okay, so we're here to see who's going to go for the win. First off, Molly took it to the next level with the chairs and the coolers.
Here comes Emma, bringing it with those killer boots and that portable grill. She's going for it.
Mom, I think the hot dog's fire.
Hold on, honey.
Any one of our 6 locations in Jacksonville for all your tailgating needs as we proudly support the Jaguars this season. Steinmart, saving is a beautiful thing.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here for the best barbecue in town. That is Bono's. Head to Bono's today. 15 locations on the First Coast and 6 more at TIAA Bank Field. You see, Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want great barbecue, you want Bono's. Plenty parking, clean family restaurants, and oh, by the way, the best barbecue you've ever had. So if you want great barbecue, head to barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow, our Jags are hot. Time to treat yourself to the cool, creamy deliciousness of a Yobi frozen yogurt. All Yobi low-fat or fat-free frozen yogurts are made with real milk, no artificial flavors, and some are as little as 25 calories per ounce. So it's easy to be game day ready. Plus, all Yobi's great toppings and fresh-cut fruit are included. Fans, stay up on all the latest offers and tasty new every month with the Yobi app. Visit myyobi.com for details and find a location near you. Yobi is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues right now.
We're back. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. 1 o'clock, the kickoff time for the Titans and the Jags at TIAA Bank Field. A busy schedule at Daly's Place coming up. September 26th, Troy Sivan. September 30th, Darius Rucker. That's the night of the Jets game. And Tuesday, October 2nd, Need to Breathe. Tickets at Daly'sPlace.com. We welcome back Tony Baselli and Jeff Lageman. Welcome in Frank Frangie for the first time. Good morning, Frank.
Hello. Hi, boys. How's everybody?
Hello. We're good.
Day.
We're good. Ready for some division football today. But first, we're ready for some fantasy results and fantasy picks.
We have breaking news on the fantasy front. For the first time this deep into the season, JP Shadrick is your overall fantasy points. 2 weeks in.
You know it.
And he's the king.
I'm calling for an investigation, Mike.
JP's calling for a player strike to wipe out the rest of the year. All right. Bortles got you 35 last week. Zeke Elliott got 18, and Brandon Cooks got 22 points for you. You scored 75. You got 140 on the season. Frank had 62 last week. He's got 129. Jeff has 129 as well, posting 60. I stunk it up with 39 points last week, and I have 118 on the year, but I don't have the first pick. Tony Baselli earned that. David Johnson a big way, Tony, last week. Only got you 5. You scored 32. You've got 101, so you're 39 behind.
Right, so I wonder what that's like.
I have a question because if you were in the stunk it up category, what category would Baselli be?
Slightly more stunking it up.
Stunk it worse.
Stinking.
The stunk it worse category.
Tony's got the first pick today.
Yes, he does.
I'm going to go Fitzpatrick.
Good one. I like that. Get him in a team that gave up 6 touchdown passes last week. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm going to go with Latavius Murray going against the Buffalo Bills in place of Dalvin Cook today. Jeff Lageman.
I will take Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes. Everyone's going to use him at some point. That's for sure. Frank.
How about Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
Everybody.
On Sunday Night Football versus Detroit. JP, back-to-back picks, champ.
Who would you take?
Who did I take?
Yeah.
Latavius Murray.
Okay, I want Matt Ryan. And I'll take Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara, very nice. And that means I could pick my quarterback last. Back to you, Frank.
Let me try Connor.
Pittsburgh today. Jeff, need a running back or a wide receiver?
I will take Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas has been red hot, setting all kinds of reception marks. I'm going to go with the narrative game. He's been squawking, and Antonio Brown is going to get the ball on Monday Night Football. I say, Tony, you need a running back and a wide receiver.
I'll go Todd Gurley.
Okay.
And Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar, right?
The only healthy receiver
You're
for
right
the
about
Eagles.
that. I mean, honestly, Matthew's not back, so Aguilar. That leaves me with my quarterback. I'm going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo today. Jeff, need a running back from you?
I will take Tevin Coleman.
Tevin Coleman's an excellent selection as well, I think. Frank, need a wide receiver?
How about Julio Jones?
Julio. And JP, need your wide receiver.
Deshaun Jackson, Buccaneers.
D-Jax.
Let's go.
On Monday. All right, so here's what we got. Tony has got Fitzpatrick on Monday Night Football. He's got Todd Gurley and Nelson Aguilar. I've got Jimmy Garoppolo, Latavius Murray, and Antonio Brown. Jeff goes with Patrick Mahomes, Tevin Coleman, Michael Thomas. Frank's got Tom Brady, James Conner, Julio Jones, and JP, the leader right now. Matt Ryan, Alvin Kamara, and Deshaun Jackson. Keep it in mind for folks listening in. We can only use each player one each, and no player can be used on the same or on two different teams twice in the same week.
Does anyone want to take a side bet that JP is not in the pocket first or second by the end of the year?
I want no part of that bet.
By the end of the year, no.
Yeah, Frank knows.
Okay, I'll say he's not top three.
Top three. Wow. JP,
Where are
do you
gonna
want a
end
piece
up?
of this?
Big
You're
boy?
saying it's a side bet, top three. I say he's
JP?
It means you're fourth or fifth.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Dinner.
I don't know.
Can we do this on the air, or do we have to do this on the side? Is that legal?
well,
Dinner?
You can do it on the air. What's wrong with that?
JP, for the record, I love you, brother. I don't want any part of that bet anyway.
I'll take anyone for dinner.
You scared? I'm not scared. Change my nickname to Taillights because that's all you're seeing of me as I drive off for this championship.
Taillights will put your money where your mouth is.
All right, what do we
Taillight?
top three?
Dinner.
Yeah, you have to be in the top three.
Where's this dinner going to be?
Winner's choice.
Oh gosh. Okay, fine.
Whoa, it's on.
Let's go. Giddy up.
Free dinner. He'll choke by the end of the year. Picking guys that aren't even playing.
Whatever. Speak for yourself. Baselli. There you go. Fantasy picks are in. The side bet is in. We'll come back and visit a little longer with Frank Frangie. The Frangie File, the play-by-play voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars, with us on the other side of this studio. Hi, Frank. You didn't want any of that, huh?
No, not. In fact, if he'd have gone top four, I'd have had to think long and hard about it. So
I think that's Tony. Tony's hurt. Tony always counted on JP being his buddy at the bottom of the standings, and his feelings are hurt now.
There's padding at the bottom.
Last week was Separation Sunday, Frank. And,
New year.
JP, New year.
New year. It's a new week and a new opponent. It's a division opponent. The Tennessee Titans are here. This team beat them twice last year. It's always a physical game, and it amps up a little bit more when the division play starts. Frank.
I'm glad the Titans are this week. After all the energy in the stadium last week, JP, fans, media, I think players are probably better about getting week to week, but there's more sort of a nondescript opponent. I'm glad our potential letdown. About this.
I'm with you, Frank, on that. I think I've been saying that the schedule makers did him a big favor. Of course, you get the Jets next week after two massive games, so we'll see how that all goes. But Blaine Gabbert, he's got a lot of reason to be fired up, obviously. Anytime you get let go by an organization, I think he took some personal satisfaction in beating the Jags last year.
Everything's different. It came at the end of the year. It was a cross-country trip last year. That was one of those games. And, frankly, Marquise Lee catches the ball. I think they win that game. So I don't know that Blaine Gabbert really carved him up. He played well in the game. I don't think he's very mobile. I think the Jaguars are in great shape defensively. There's no heavy legs at maybe the end of the year last year that I think they regained themselves in the playoffs. I think they'll be all over Blaine Gabbert, Mike. I'd be very surprised if he plays well against them and has a clean pocket against them. They've struggled with those 2 tackles. They've been beat up. I'm very confident the Titans aren't going to score a lot. Now, the Jags have to score a lot, too. I mean, this could be a low-scoring game. This could be one of those games, but I don't think the Titans are doing much offensively.
The Jaguars' offense, had the, I don't know. Is that a big thing for you? Yeah. The whole Leonard isn't in. The Jags have played well offensively, or is it the opponents they've faced in those?
Well, that's the narrative, JP. Is when he's not there, they're more creative and they do different things. I hope they found a little something last week. Now, look, I don't think the Patriots run well on defense. Of all the things they're good about, I don't think they have a fast defense. So making them play in space and getting Corey Grant and Yeldon out in space a little bit. And obviously to combat that, the Patriots blitz a lot, and the Jags did a great job in pass pro against the blitz. So I think they matched up well. But, yeah, I like the whole creativity thing. Don't get me wrong. They're better when 27's in the game. They're better when he's active. But I like the creative things that Nathaniel Hackett does when he's not, and I hope that back. I think that's what most people are kind of talking about.
Frank, have a fantastic call today.
All right,
Appreciate
boys.
Your time.
See you in a bit.
Thanks, Frangie, voice of this will return with Director of Player Development Marcus Pollard, defensive captain Calais Campbell around the corner as well. He breaks down the Titans running back situation. Titans Jags at 1 o'clock from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. This is Jaguars Radio.
How do you become the official truck of the NFL? You make it tough with high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy. You make it smart with Pro Trailer Backup Assist. You make it for work and the weekend. Ford F-Series, making tough jobs easier. That's how you become America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. Score one at your local Ford dealer. Based on sales December 1976 through November 2017.
Grab your passport. Virgin Atlantic wants to send you and a friend across the pond to watch the Jaguars take on the Eagles in London this season. Visit jaguars.com/Virgin Atlantic to enter the Touchdown in London sweepstakes. You could win a round-trip flight on Virgin Atlantic, a 3-night hotel stay, 2 tickets, and sideline passes to the... Don't miss out as the Jags take on the defending Super Bowl champions at Wembley Stadium. Visit jaguars.com/Virgin Atlantic. Keep calm and fly on, Jags fans.
Does your small business internet provider promise a lot? Let's hear who really delivers. Comcast Business offers gig speed in more places and lets calls from any of your devices appear to come from your business number. Other providers don't. Call 1-800-501-6000 to get 75 megabit internet from Comcast Business for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you get 2 voice mobility lines. 9/21/18. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Require subscription in 2 Comcast Business voice mobility lines and additional regular monthly rates. Equipment, tax, and fees extra and subject to change. Call for details.
Jaguars fans, your favorite bag boys are back in town. Don't miss out on loads of fun when Jaguars players make an appearance at Publix on October 2nd to help bag your groceries on behalf of Tide. The Jaguars know even amateur-level athletes get a professional-level stink, so they want you to use Tide Pods after your big game. Come out to the Publix in the Nocatee Town Center in Ponte Vedra on October 2nd and purchase Tide Pods to receive a Jaguars reusable grocery bag and meet some Jaguars players.
Looking for a more comfortable way to camp or tailgate at Jags games? Visit Campers Inn RV for their integrity pricing guarantee. With their open and honest buying process, you'll never pay more for freight or dealer prep. There are no hidden fees in their prices ever. And as a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they want to thank you for your support. That's why they're offering this season's game attendees $500 off the purchase of a new RV. Just show them your ticket. So visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, I-10 West, exit 351, or campersinn.com today.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the HananiaAutos.com studio at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. It's NFL Week 3, the Titans and the Jags. With a 1 o'clock kickoff time, we welcome in former NFL tight end, and Director of Player Development for the Jaguars and Youth Football, Marcus Pollard.
Holding it down.
As you always are. Good
Thank
morning.
You very much.
Good morning. Who you got with you today?
I got my little entourage. That's my muscle. I got my oldest son, Miles, sitting there. He's 16-year-old. I got my other son, Mike Guy. He's a football player down at Barton Trail, and his teammate, Mike.
All right.
He's holding it down. State and Trail Bears.
See?
Yeah, you are on that one now. Yeah. You holding it down.
See?
I like it.
That's what we do here. Division play, right? Mike, you've been talking about it all morning. The schedule makers did the Jags some favors here. Patriots game, big hype. They won the game. The focus is pretty easy. There's the Titans.
I think they are very improved on defense. The system that they were running defensively is still the same, but just different ways of getting it done. So I think they're still a very vital defense. If they can get some points scored, which I doubt against us, because we got one of the better defenses in the league. But at the same time, with that being said, every Sunday you have to go out and perform and play your best. My hope is that we don't have the high of beating New England and then have a low of thinking, well, we got this one won without going out and competing. Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that issue with the way the games went, with Jarrell Casey running his mouth last year, with the fact that Blaine Gabbert is a starting quarterback. All these different things factor into it. How important – every week special teams is important, Marcus, right? But particularly this week, we saw last week the Titans realized they're probably going to struggle to score. They go with a fake punt very early, deep in their own territory. They're typically very good on their special teams units. How important is it to at least play?
I think special teams are vital to any team. I don't care what level you're playing on. You play great defense and you have a good special teams, you have a chance of winning a lot of football games. And the thing you like to get with special teams, another possession. If you can get a touchdown or a block punt or a block field goal, now you give your opportunity, offense, a chance to get short field, maybe the opportunity to score a touchdown. And our special teams is playing pretty solid at this point. And so if we can come to a draw with both special units and our defense shut their offense out, I believe we'll score some points.
When Leonard's active, what the Jags have done, they're 4 not in there, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Different approach when Leonard's in there. What's the feel?
I don't know. That's a great question. I think it's next man up. It's NFL. If a guy's down, next man up. And I think guys rally around the guys that are in the game and thinking, hey, we got to find a way to still have success. Our horse and our workhorse is not playing this week in Leonard Fournette, but we got to find a way to produce some yards, produce some points, and move the football. So I think guys have this mentality, hey, we still got to find a way to have success, and we've been doing it, like you said, 4-0 with Leonard not playing.
All right, your weekly tight end question. Delaney Walker done on IR for the Titans. How big of a blow is that?
I think it's a tough blow. It's kind of like their Gronkowski similarity, because he makes them go. When they can find Delaney in the passing game, he can get some yards and some catches. It's going. And to not have him there the rest of the season, it's going to be tough. They got to find a way to find somebody else that can, produce some yards and catches. I like the young tight end that they have now. He's been there in and out. He's a young guy, but I think he has a lot of upside. Hope we can shut him down too. So we'll see. But not having that guy, it's going to be a huge loss for them.
Yeah, because that guy, Delaney Walker, over the years killed the Jaguars. So he had
killed a lot of teams.
He had an end-around rushing touchdown last year against us, for God's sake.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. Very talented guy. He's still doing it at a high level. As long as he's been playing, he's still doing it at a high level.
Yeah, he's been at it for a long time. And one of the best, certainly, for the Tennessee Titans. All right, high school player and coach of the week. What do you got for us?
CSX High School Player of the Week is Ty Lavatai, senior from Creekside High School. Ty threw for 6 touchdowns. He's a great kid. He's a hard worker. And his coach said he's always doing the right thing. This kid is also committed to Navy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that shows a lot about his integrity and who he is and how he handles himself every day. Yeah. So it's a good high school player of the week. Good luck to him the rest of the way. Well, also coach of the week is Adam Gase from Sandalwood High School. His philosophy is play hard and you play good defense and you win a lot of games. We just said that a few minutes ago. Goals for his kids is to win every game and to have his kids win a high school state championship at one point. So congratulations to Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
And the coach gets what?
The coach will get $1,500 to be used to his school for any way that he sees fit, and also will be added to the pot to win High School Coach of the Year. Will pay him an additional $3,000 for his program.
And you got to win a weekly award to be eligible for the
Coach of the Year award.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There you have it. The player and coach of the week.
Holding it down.
As always, Marcus
Yes.
Pollard in studio with us.
Thank you, sir.
See you,
Director
Marcus.
of Player Development for the Jacksonville Jaguars and former NFL tight end for, gosh, how many teams? 5 teams? 6 teams? 10 teams?
Whoa,
how many teams you played
whoa,
for?
brother. Pump your brakes.
Like 5 teams.
4.
4. 4?
Colts, Detroit, Seattle, and Atlanta. I'm not counting New England.
Oh, okay. That's where I was. Okay, fair enough. We'll see you next week. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. Calais Campbell, defensive up front for this Jaguars defense, and they're looking for a big day against the Tennessee Titans. Division football. It's every game obviously is important, but boy, when the division games roll around, you guys amp it up just a little bit more, it seems like. Huh?
Yes, we do. You have to. I mean, the goal is to make the playoffs, and to do that, you have to win your division. So the division games are the most important, and especially at home, because those are the ones that you have the advantage. So this is a big game for us, big opportunity. We had a good week of practice. Guys are focused, and I'm looking forward to going out there on Sunday and showing what we got.
These guys got you twice last year. Does that creep in this week, or is that past you now? What?
Not to me. To me, I'm all focused on this year and what we can do this year. We know they're a good team. We know they can beat anybody. So, I know I just got to, make sure I'm focused and bringing my best game because they are a talented team that can beat anybody, So, but for as far as the game goes, this is just a vision game. It's a must win.
It always seems like this matchup, the Titans game, is just it's a fight, man. I mean, these guys, they play hard. It's a trenches kind of game, physical. They run the ball a lot. It's just an ugly, nasty kind of game. That's always the feel of these guys. What about their offensive line makes that so tough? They just they bring a little something extra to this game, it seems like.
Yeah, they're one of the best O-lines in football. They've done a great job. Building a complete O-line all the way across the board, left to right, and they're very physical. They work in unison together. I think the coach did a good job playing to their strengths. They're a tough team, and it's a division game, and so of course we know each other the most. They have experience with us and who we are. We have experience with them, personnel-wise, and who they are. Obviously, the scheme's changed because they have a new coaching staff, but as far as just the personnel and who they are, you know the guys. We play them twice a year, so that's what makes the game so tough. But also so much fun because there's a lot of history that you can build off of and help you prepare.
2 different kind of running backs here, D.L. Lewis and Derrick Henry. I don't know if you can get more polar opposite than those two in terms of size and running style, but take us through each of those guys and what the challenge is with a guy like Lewis and then a guy like Henry, a freight train.
Well, they both can do it all, given the nature of them. One's a real big guy, powerful, explosive, and one's a little guy, real shifty, quick, and also explosive. But the funny thing about it is when you watch tape, Deion Lewis goes downhill, running A gap, B gap, it doesn't matter, and he's tough. He's a tough tackle. It gets in space, and obviously you know what he can do. He's an incredible player. Then you got Derrick Henry, who is a downhill guy. He's great downhill, but he can get on the edge and take the top off. He has a lot of speed, so they both are complete backs that can do it all.
Finally, the quarterback. It sounds like later in the week Mariota was getting a little more practice time, but you've had to prepare for both guys this week because of what's happened early in their season at that position. How different are those two, Mariota and Blaine Gabbert?
Well, from a standpoint that affects me, they're both very, very athletic, and they both can make you miss in the pocket, create more time, and be able to keep their eyes downfield and throw the ball. After making you miss, so we have to do a good job containing them in the pocket and getting after them early. We can't let them run because they both have legs that can hurt you. So I mean, as far as like on the back end, those DBs, they worry about all that, and I have no idea. I try to study things that are going to help me win, but those guys are both very good in the pocket when it comes to just a pocket presence, moving around, and being good athletes.
Yeah, I got to ask you, you've been on the injury report a little bit. How you doing? Feeling good?
I feel good enough, man. It's always something during this time of year. I guarantee you that everybody in the NFL is dealing with something. Some more than others, but at the end of the day, this game, it doesn't wait for anybody. You got to be able to suck it up and keep going. And if you're too hurt, you have to let your body heal and come back strong. But this game will wait for no one.
Calais Campbell there, and for fairness, he was last Saturday added to the report before the game against the Patriots. He is not on the injury report this week, but
nevertheless, when he says, "Hey, good enough," that's probably means he's not 100%. Maurice Jones-Drew once told me, "Hey, once the season kicks off, nobody's ever 100% anymore after that." But these guys don't like to use it as an excuse or talk about it too much. If you're healthy enough to play, then you're expected to perform, and it's as simple as that. And Calais understands that, and I'm sure he has that. That's his own attitude as well as that of the coaching staff, because the coaching staff around here certainly doesn't love injuries.
No,
I don't know what that does, but they really, I think. It's a mark against you. Stay healthy.
You better be hurt or better be injured and not hurt. If you're hurt, you're coming out. Guess what? You're going to play.
Right?
Get out there. Let's play.
Everyone's dealing with some kind of pain.
That's right.
Right. The injuries that could get worse. That's another thing.
Calais though just looks a little different. Looks a little slimmer this year, just a little bit, but he's still just a big, tough guy to block.
Oh, sure. And maybe try to trim down a little bit, JP, because I think. He played so many reps last year, and they're counting on guys like Taven Bryan to spell him, but those guys have to play well in order to play meaningful reps to give him that kind of quality rest, and hopefully Calais Campbell can be as strong late in the season this year, and hopefully that means a deep run into the postseason as he is at the beginning of the year. He hasn't gotten his season off to a start like he did last year, but he's all the talent in the world, and I think they've had a plan to maybe cut back on his usage just a little bit in the regular season, keep him fresher longer this year.
And, the cast around him is very strong, too.
This is absolutely
unbelievably deep.
Is a big key because he can play on the outside, and where you slide Calais in on third down, they got plenty of playing very well. You got Malik Jackson there.
And, Brian, probably a little more comfortable inside, just that's where he was a lot in college, but he's available to move around there. Speaking of Dante, you'll talk to him a little bit later today,
right? Dante was in a pretty good mood, I thought, this week. Why wouldn't he be, right? He came back. He said in the playoffs, his breakout game when he had 2 sacks of Tom Brady. Well, had another one last week, and we kind of joked about it in terms of how healthy he is. Said, hey, I guess if you can recover a fumble after sacking a quarterback with an offensive lineman laying on you, you're probably okay. He goes, you noticed that, did you? Yeah, and so he was well aware of that as well. He's in great spirits, and hopefully going to have another big game.
One of our shows this week, he said it was like a Hell in a Cell match after the fumble came out.
That's what it's like, right? I mean, no, you and I wouldn't survive at the bottom of any NFL pile, right? These guys go through it seemingly on every play to some degree. Somebody's in the mix, and that's a big man, but Dante still able to get the job done.
All right, so we'll get to that coming up a little bit later. Dante Fowler Jr. with Mike Dempsey around the corner. And the Jaguars and the Titans coming up today at 1 o'clock. Coming up in the second hour, top headlines this week. Josh Wells is in at left tackle. We'll hear from him, and he'll tell us how the preparation has changed this week, entering his starting role against the Titans. The Titans and the Jags at 1 o'clock, and from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. This is Jaguars Radio.
Massage Envy announces their newest game changer, professionally assisted stretch. Increase mobility, flexibility, and blood flow. Add stretch to relaxing therapeutic massage sessions and you're game ready. Visit any of the 7 Jacksonville area Massage Envy locations in Bartram Park, Fleming Island, Harbor Village, Jacks Beach, Oakleaf, Ortega, and Southside. Text stretch to 82257 to receive a free 30-minute professionally assisted stretch offer when you purchase any massage session. Text the word stretch to 82257.
Only in Jacksonville can you tour a state-of-the-art hospitality show home before a game. Hi, this is Lauren Brooks. Make it a point to visit the Dreamfinders Home's newest stadium home before any home Jaguars game. Take a free tour and register for a chance to win amazing grand prizes. Dreamfinders Homes will select one winner per home game. Only at Dreamfinders Homes Stadium Home 2.0 by Gate 4 at TIAA Bank Field. Dreamfinders Homes, homes built to fit your lifestyle.
The First Coast will see green when the Jacksonville Jaguars take the field this season thanks to SunPass. For every regular season first down recorded by the Jaguars in 2018, SunPass will make a donation toward the planting of new trees in Jacksonville. A run by Leonard Fournette, a pass from Blake Bortles, every first down turns over a new leaf right here in Northeast Florida. Visit jaguars.com/trees to learn more about First Downs for Trees presented by SunPass. Get ready to go green, Jags fans. #JagsPlantTrees.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. Liftoff. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Be the MVP of your next tailgate with the official wing of the Jacksonville Jaguars from Dick's Wings and Grill. Whether at the stadium or cheering from home, game day every day with Dick's 365 wing varieties, burgers, wraps, and more. And for somewhere to catch all the sports action, Dick's Wings and Grill's 23 area locations have been a local fan favorite for more than 20 years. For the best wings, ice-cold craft beer, and best fans, feed where the big cats feast. Visit DicksWingsAndGrill.com for a location nearest you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is the Pepsi that gets you stuff. Crack one open, and you could get a Weber grill or an acoustic guitar. Because when you collect codes on specially marked Pepsi products, you'll get summer rewards from Pepsi Stuff. We'll even get you tickets to see Dirks later.
I like the sound of that.
We do too, Dirks.
Grab the Pepsi, enter the codes, get the stuff.
Drink Pepsi, get stuff. Pepsi Stuff Rewards Program subject to official rules at PepsiStuff.com. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 plus. All rewards subject to availability and may have limited quantities while supplies last.
I'm Tony Smith with your 1010XL local sports update. The Florida Gators look to reestablish their dominance over the Tennessee Volunteers in their yearly rivalry last night. The Gators forced 6 turnovers on the way to a 47-21 win, improving their record to 3-1 on the season, while the Vols dropped to 2-2. Gators quarterback Felipe Franks just 9 of 18, but those 9 completions go for 172 yards and 3 touchdowns in the victory. Elsewhere in the state of Florida, Florida State Seminoles trying to get their season back. A bad loss to Syracuse last week, an ugly win for yesterday. The Noles were trying to work out some of the kinks on the offensive side of the ball under first-year head coach Willie Taggart. Quarterback DeAndre Francois throws for 352 yards with 2 touchdowns and an interception in a 37-19 win for the Noles at home in Northern Illinois. FSU now 2-2 on the season. I'm Tony Smith. This has been your 1010XL local sports update. More of the Publix Tailgate Show with JP Shadrick and Mike Dempsey coming up next.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues right now.
JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the HananiahAutos.com studio at TIAA Bank Field. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. The Titans and the Jaguars kick it off today at 1 o'clock. Today's game is Universal Orlando Resort. Get a year full of awesome with passes starting at $13 a month. Only at universalorlando.com/Jags. Division game, big ball game, middle of a September homestand in the Florida Heat. And this is wanted to take advantage of this schedule here. With the Heat, they practice in it all the time, all this. Big game, all that coming together today for what should be a fine afternoon here.
Yeah, well, look, prove that you're the team that you think you are, right? Continue to do that. You're going to be asked to do that every single week of the season. It's not just enough to show up and get up for the Patriots as revenge for the AFC title game loss, whether you've got plenty of revenge factors here as well. Every single week, JP, whether it's the Jets, the Redskins, anybody on the schedule this year, you've got to treat them like you're the superior team, and you got to come out and play that way. I think the Jaguars should beat the Tennessee Titans today. Then again, I thought they should have beat them at least once last year, and it didn't turn out to be the case. We know Tennessee plays them extremely tough. I don't know if it's going to be an easy football game, but I do like the Jags by about 10 points today, and if they're the team that I think they are, I think they'll come out and play like that.
Temperature in the mid-80s today. Still stay hydrated. Still pretty warm. Not compared to last week. That was an all-time
97 at kickoff last week. You get white jerseys this week, so maybe that cools them off for the Jags
and
a little
teal
bit more.
Pants for the first time ever.
Yes. Should be interesting. I want to see what it looks like. I'll reserve judgment.
We'll find out in a couple hours.
They looked fantastic last week with the teal and white teal tops, white pants. We'll see if the reverse holds true.
2 hours away from finding that out. Let's get to the top stories today. For quarterback Blake Bortles, this is where it all begins. The easiest road to the postseason is to win your division.
We won the division last year and got beat twice by them. So it's the first divisional game. It's the divisional home opener. So it'll definitely be an exciting one. Our goal and what we always talk about is winning the AFC South. And this is obviously the first opportunity to start that by beating Tennessee. So we got our work cut out for us. It's a good defense. So we're going to have to be on point and have a good.
It's what this organization's built on. It's what a lot of organizations are built on. Is you win your division, you get a home playoff game, you do all that. But it's all over the walls in the interior here at TIAA Bank Field, in the hallway right by the locker room, the hallway that goes to the lunch, goes out to the training room, that goes to. It's a big sign that says "Win the division," and it has all the other teams' logos and the dates you play them, and they have the results when it comes around. It's right there for everybody to pass every day. The building, it's a really important part of the schedule.
Well, that's no surprise. I mean, Tom Coughlin, when he first started the franchise, said, I'm going to build a team to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers because in the old AFC Central, that was the team that you measured yourself against, and they had success going up against Pittsburgh. So, you want to build a team that for the conceivable future can handle your business with not only Tennessee, but Houston and Indianapolis. And with Indy on the road in Philadelphia, I think Philly's defense is much tougher at home. Houston's already 0-2, so at best they'll be 1-2. Jags win today. They got a chance to have at least a 2-game lead on every other team in the AFC South.
Well, that would be nice.
It would be awesome.
Early in the season.
Yeah, and you're not going to rest on your laurels either because, you can't focus on this now if you're the team. But we'll look back, and all these games you win contribute to whether or not you have home field beat with Kansas City or New England.
And a lot of football between now and then, though. Miles Jack, Jaguars middle linebacker, knows this is a physical game against the Titans, especially in front of him in the trenches.
D-line will be very important. It's going to be an offensive line, defensive line game where whoever wins the line of scrimmage, that'll be big for us. So I'd say the offensive line, and then number two, they're two-headed monsters at running back, and Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis. Yeah, he's really good, man. So they'll be tough to go against.
Yeah, that's always the kind of the focus against the Titans, stopping the run. Todd Wash knows that. He knows about Deion Lewis from last year, and he's now over in Tennessee. But he knows what Derrick Henry has done to his teams in the past and doesn't want to let that happen again.
He's played really well versus us. He's had some big runs versus us. They get in position where our corners have to tackle him, and he's a big man, big physical man. So it's going to be a situation we got to tackle really well. And we're going to do everything we can to obviously control the run game and try to make them one-dimensional, but they're committed to it, and we got to be committed to stopping it. It's going to be a heck of a physical battle this Sunday. The one outside zone play he took, to the house against Miami, that's a big man running down the field. So, and he's got the ability to make a jump cut. He can play between the tackles and get on the edge. So he's really a one-of-a-kind back, how big and strong and fast he is.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 240, and freight train once he gets loose, you don't want to get in front of him.
Yeah, and unlike New England, which doesn't have much of a power running game, New England tried to slow down the Jags' penetration and pass rush by throwing a lot of quick screens last week, and even then they didn't have time to execute oftentimes. Tennessee is going to try to slow you down by hammering you with Derrick Henry. If you can slow him down and put them in a position where they have to pass, major advantage for the Jaguars today. But completely different look. So, you got the big freight train, and then you've got the shifty in-space guy who's also a really good third-down pass protector in Deion Lewis. So if the Titans are hoping to pull the upset, and I think that's what it would be, both of those guys probably have to have big performances.
We're about 25 minutes away from the announcement of the inactives, but national reports this morning have Leonard Fournette not playing in this football game today. He had to watch last week's game on the sideline as well, and the offense had things running well without him.
It was an eye-opener for a lot of people. Just basically just showing that we have the talent. We got talent around the board, and like I said, it's not a system offense. The offense just runs by the individual players. They have to win their one-on-ones and their matchups. So they did that throughout the whole game, and like I said, man, they practiced the whole week hard, and game time came and showed up.
We've seen the stats with him without Leonard in this game, but last week's game, it just felt freer, and Blake could spread the ball around and spread the wealth and used both running backs in different ways, and it was maybe not statistically his best game of his career for Blake Bortles.
One of them.
But it was pretty darn close to the best performance, I think, overall.
I think the key is you're aggressive on early downs. And aggressive doesn't mean you first down a lot more. I think with Leonard Fournette, they like to oftentimes start out, see if you can pick up 4 or 5 yards, start to get the down and distance in your favor. Here they just came out and they said, Blake, we're going to put it on you. And I think Blake plays freer. Instead of being called upon on 3rd and 9 to drop back for the first time in a series, hey, go out there and pick up 7 or 8 yards yourself on first down, or complete a 15-yard pass, loosen up that defense. Then we'll hit them with the run game. It makes the Jags more multiple, more varied in their offensive looks, and Blake has flourished in those 4 occasions when Leonard's been out the last 2 years.
Let's finish with a little lighthearted stuff from Jalen Ramsey. He always is good for a bite or two each and every week. The Jaguars cornerback was asked this week about what would be more of a compliment, not getting a pass at all against you, a respect factor, or having 10 balls thrown your way and having a pick. What would be more of a better day for you personally as a cornerback? And the question is, do the Jaguars win both of those games?
If both of them wins, of course I want to make a play. Yeah, but I mean, if we win it, of course I want to make a play. But like if before the season started, y'all told me or God spoke to me and said, Jalen, you won't make one pick this year, but y'all gonna win every game. I'm gonna make that deal with God like that. We on. But I'd rather win. But if God telling me we gonna win, then I can make plays. Let me get that deal.
Yeah, let me get that deal. Jalen Ramsey there in his press conference earlier this week. This portion of the Publix Tailgate Show is brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. Each week we visit with Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan from Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Week 3, homestand continues. Here we are.
It's nice to stay home for a couple games.
Yeah, 3 in a row here for this Jaguars team, a 2-0 record going into this game. The opponent today, the Tennessee Titans, they've got quarterback issues. Marcus Mariota missed last week's game with an elbow issue. Blaine Gabbert had played in his place last week. So for Mariota, the way he fell, he hit his elbow on the ground and couldn't feel his fingers. There's a lot going on in that arm, it sounds like, with Mariota.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we don't know the details. It'd be nice to know all the details of what's happening, but everybody has hit their funny bone nerve, and that sounds to be what's going on here. If you hit your arm or with your arm flexed up in the morning and you kind of have a claw hand, you can't feel your fingers, you can't move, that's what's called the ulnar nerve, which is known as the funny bone nerve. And so if you hit that hard enough, nerves are just electrical cables that go from your brain to your neck and down into your fingertips. And if you hit an electrical cable hard enough, it's irritated, and that obviously focusing on.
There aren't as many throw arm injuries in baseball. I mean, they're everywhere. Shoulder, elbow, Tommy John stuff in baseball. You don't hear a lot about that in football. Why is that? What's different in the mechanics, and why don't you hear about that as much here?
Yeah, the very important ligament for any type of throwing athlete is the ulnar collateral ligament, known as the Tommy John ligament. It's a very small ligament that goes between your humerus bone and your ulnar bone on the inside of your elbow. And I don't think there have been many football quarterbacks that have had an ulnar collateral ligament injury. The only one that I can remember off the top of my head is Jake Delhomme from Carolina. He had a Tommy John reconstruction. Most of the time, pitchers, if you look at a pitching motion, the amount of external rotation, meaning the amount that their arm goes all the way back, is so much greater than a quarterback. Quarterbacks typically stop, right about or near the ear, and then throw the ball, as opposed to a baseball player who will really rear back and throw, and that ligament gets stressed a lot more, and that's why we see a lot more ulnar collateral ligament or Tommy John injuries in Major League Baseball players.
That's interesting stuff there. And when there is an injury in the NFL, I mean, it's rare, all that stuff, but it's like just as it does a baseball pitcher, right?
That's right. Ulnar collateral ligaments, even if you sprain it or you partially tear it, it's still very important, not really for the power that goes into a throw, but the accuracy. For pitchers, it's the speed with which they throw. When you reconstruct it, you have to let the ligament heal. You have to get your range of motion back. And that process, in terms of getting a pitcher back on the mound, typically takes. And the same goes for a quarterback, because it's a very similar type of motion. And without that stability, they can be thrown into, section 206 instead of, the 20-yard line.
So how many bones are in the elbow?
There are actually 3 bones in the elbow, but there are multiple ligaments that connect those bones, and those are the ones that are real important for the throwing motion.
Good to see you, Doc. Thanks a lot.
All right, see you next week.
Dr. Kevin Kaplan from Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. We'll return with Lamb at Large. David Lamb with a report this week. He's out. He's on the DL, but he's going to be back at some point in the studio. We'll hear from David Lamb, the guru, coming up. Plus a visit with left Josh Wells. Titans, Jaguars at 1 o'clock in From Field in Jacksonville. This is Jaguars Radio.
Some things make a house your home. Like a quick heating oven that makes the aroma of warm chocolate chip cookies your thing. When cooking with natural gas, you get the best temperature control, save money, and earn a rebate up to $200.
Who wants cookies?
Your home. Our safe, reliable, efficient energy. Love natural gas. Find rebate details at peoplesgas.com.
At ViStar, we believe in better. Better convenience. So members can bank any way they want. Whether it's at a branch, on a mobile device, or at one of more than 20,000 fee-free ATMs across North America. We believe that people have better things to do with their time. If you believe that convenience is better, join ViStar. We never forget that it's your money. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
This is Josh Lambo of the Jacksonville Jaguars alongside my dogs Lana and Wyatt. It's hard saying goodbye to these two on game day, but that all changed this year with the NFL's first ever in-stadium dog park, thanks to our partnership with Pet Paradise. Are you ready to bring your furry friend to the stadium? Enter the Pet Paradise Top Dog Sweepstakes. Each week, 10 lucky winners will receive 2 game tickets, a parking pass, and the chance to bring your dog to Pet Paradise Park at TIAA Bank Field. Visit jaguars.com/petparadise and enter today.
Storm season is here, and JEA is doing everything possible to prepare. We've invested millions in hardening our electric, water, and sewer systems to make them more resistant to extreme weather. By updating your contact information and signing up for alerts, you'll also be better prepared if a storm hits. And in the event we need to restore your power, we can keep you up to date on our efforts and get you back to normal sooner. Update your contact info today at JEA.com. JEA, the prepared community.
Jaguars fans, your favorite bag boys are back in town. Don't miss out on loads of fun when Jaguars players make an appearance at Publix on October 2nd to help bag your groceries on behalf of Tide. The Jaguars know even amateur-level athletes get a professional-level stink, so they want you to use Tide Pods after your big game. Come out to the Publix in the Nocatee Town Center in Ponte Vedra on October 2nd and purchase Tide Pods to receive a Jaguars reusable grocery bag and meet some Jaguars players.
This is Clark Judge of the Talk of Fame Network with some advice for you this season. Sign up with FanDuel because now, more than ever, it has more ways to win. Like everyone who hits a certain score, with no worrying about how others are doing. Just hit the score and win, with an easy way to find friends to play head-to-head contests for money or bragging rights, whichever you prefer. And best of all, you get $20 when you sign up with your first deposit. Does that sound like a good idea? At FanDuel.com/Clark, and you can thank me later.
JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the HananiaAutos.com studio at TIAA Bank Field, Week 3. Titans, Jaguars.
Yeah.
Division rivals. With a 1 o'clock kickoff time, today's game presented by Universal Orlando Resort. Jaguars Radio Network coverage begins at noon with countdown to kickoff, and we'll take you all the way up to the opening kick as always. Each week, we visit with the guru, David Lamb. Here he is with Lamb at Large.
Thanks, guys. Listen, by now you've read all the numbers. You know the Jaguars win when they don't have Leonard Fournette. They're 4-0. They have more yards per game. They score more points. What I'm asking you to do now, though, don't overreact. You know, don't from my buddy superstar to a guy the Jaguars don't need. Leonard Fournette is a very good football player. He makes the Jaguars a better team. Now, here's the key. This is a quarterback league, and you just can't build an offense around a running back. Running and defense will win you a lot of games, but it won't win you championships. You win championships by throwing the football. You throw it when you're behind. You throw it when you're ahead. You attack. You attack. When you get ahead, you put your foot on their throat. You don't start backing up and say, oh, let's just run the ball and eat up the clock. You can't do that. So having Leonard Fournette healthy and on the roster, active on the football field, is a good thing as long as the Jaguars will do what I guess they've been forced to do when he hasn't been able to play, and that is they've had to go to more of an attack offense. They've had to let Bortles throw it when they're behind and when they're ahead. I've that same mindset when Leonard Fournette is back in uniform, back on the football field. You may see the Leonard Fournette you were getting when they drafted him, 4th overall pick in 2017. I think his yards will go up with less carries. Listen, the better the Jaguars can throw the ball, the more teams can't stack the box and play just to stop Leonard Fournette. You get a spread open field. You let Leonard Fournette get the ball in the open field, either on a swing pass or when he breaks the line of scrimmage, all of a sudden there's a little space. Hey, one-on-one against most linebackers, one-on-one against any defensive back, I'm taking Leonard Fournette, and we've already seen he's got the speed. If you give him a crease, if you get him in the open, not many people are going to catch him. So listen, the numbers are real. 4 games is a pretty good sample, and we've been sort of criticizing Leonard Fournette, but it's not his fault, and don't think he's not a very good football player. You know, since all of this has happened, I've heard people say, yeah, they just don't worry about Leonard Fournette. He was a waste of time. No, he's not. He's a good football player. Just don't depend on him. Don't build your offense around him. He's not the cowbell. Like I said, in the NFL, it's about throwing the football, and that means trusting your quarterback. We saw that in the Patriots game. I'd love to see that same offensive game plan. You know, they may have beaten the Patriots 51-20 instead of 31-20.
David Lamb with Lamb at Large. We'll hope to have Dave back in studio with us next week. He filed that report.
Yeah, I don't know if they would be any better last week against New England, but I agree that they're a better football team with Leonard Fournette. The question is, can they play that same aggressive with Leonard Fournette? Are they willing to? They can. Will they choose to? And it'll be interesting to see how they work him in, JP, when he does get back, hopefully as soon as next week.
Josh Wells makes a start at left tackle today for the Jags. Cam Robinson out for the year after tearing up his knee. For Wells, a guy who's been around here for a number of years, a great opportunity to showcase what he has to offer this week. You said earlier it doesn't change a lot because you prep like this every week, but it has to be a little bit of a different mentality when you know you're going to go out there and start on the opening kickoff, right?
Right. I think it might change a little bit. I think there's times just preparing for one side now instead of both sides. Just you get more reps throughout the week, more walkthrough reps, more game reps, or more practice reps. But I think overall, I think you get the same mentality, the same mindset going into the game, and just being ready to go.
This offense was rolling last week against the Patriots, and Blake was having a huge day, of course. But when this thing gets going offensively, it's hard to stop because there's a lot of weapons out there, and you guys get the run game going on top of that. You can't really slow this offense down. Is that the feeling in here?
It's the game plan each week. It's a trust thing, I think, between the offense and the whole team, really. But Coach Hackett puts the game plan together, and there's an expectation level. I feel like that needs to be upheld throughout the year and in and week out, and that's what we play.
2 years, injury here, in and out of the lineup. Some, you've been around though, and you've battled through to stick around here. What does this mean to you, this opportunity the next few weeks?
It's a huge opportunity, and it's really a blessing. I think it's just you keep your head down and one day at a time. It's a business. I think just how you go after each day and just be prepared to work hard, and when your opportunity comes, be ready to go.
Division game, man. I mean, these are big. Yeah, Jags are 2-0. We get it, but the Titans come rolling in. It amps up just a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it's the first division game of the year. They got us twice last year. They're a good football team, good on defense. I think it's just going to be up to us again to execute the game plan and do what we're asked and want to come out with a win.
Their front seven is just pretty stout. They have some veteran players who've been in the league for a while, and that's the strength of that defense, I think, the front seven, right?
Absolutely. I think it just comes down to preparation, being prepared for whatever guy's out there. Like you said, they've been stout up front, and just excited for a good opportunity and want to come out with a win.
There's Josh Wells, left tackle for this Jacksonville Jaguars football team after Cam Robinson is down for the season. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and you look through the injury report on this week, and there are 3 offensive linemen listed on that report. Brandon Linder, I think, is going to be on the report pretty much every week from now on with the knee issue he had in the preseason. Did not practice Wednesday. That's probably going to be his day off. Limited Thursday, full Friday. That might be the routine for him. Jeremy Parnell, much the same way with the knee injury. Big lumbering guy anyway. But he's going to be on the report, limited, and then full, and get ready for game day. Get him ready for Sunday. A.J. Cann, triceps issue, limited all week, questionable. The guys earlier, Baselli and Lagerman, didn't seem to think he was going to play today.
Yeah, so particularly Tony.
That's something different. That's a new one for this offensive line, and now you got your left tackle out for the year. You could have Cann out today. We'll find out officially in probably 8 minutes or so if that's going to happen. So against this Titans front, especially the front 7, that's not the ideal situation on the offensive line.
Clearly not. I mean, the Josh Wells situation is what it is. I mean, that's who is your left tackle going forward. So you can wish, hope, and all these things. It's not going to change, and I'm not saying that it's a bad thing necessarily. He played well last week. Let's hope he can continue to do that. A.J. Cann had one of the best camps of any offensive lineman here, probably the best offseason of his career in Jacksonville, and had been playing well. So you hate to see him have an injury that harkens back to one he had last year, and that really hampered his play. I don't think we're worried, at least I'm not, about Chris Reed filling in. He's a vet. He's been around. He's played some football in this league. I think he can pick up the slack. But as he starts to accumulate, you wonder how many more blows can they take. If it stays like this for a week, I think they're fine. Beyond that, let's hope Linder and Parnell can stay right where they are in terms of their status. You want to manage their reps during practice, fine, as long as they're available for Sunday afternoons, because I think you start, pulling pieces in and out of that line. It's a recipe for disaster. That's one thing that can really, you look at Seattle, right? They can't protect Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson getting no protection in Houston. These teams are struggling to run their offenses because defensive players are in the backfield constantly, seemingly, through the first 2 weeks of the year. That hasn't been the case in Jacksonville. They protected Blake very well. Didn't allow a sack last week. Let's hope they can continue to play up to that level of play.
Jarrell Casey, speaking of sacks, had 2 last week. Where does he rank on the whole hierarchy in the NFL of interior defensive linemen?
He's a good one. I mean, I don't know if you put him above the Aaron Donalds of the world and things like that, but he's among probably one of the better guys. He may not be a household name around the league. I think to a lot of fans, they're well aware of who he is, but maybe the casual fans are not. But that's kind of the nature of the position he plays. Look, he can penetrate. He's very strong at the point of attack as well. He's an emotional player. We saw that last year. Look, it's part of it, right? There's a rivalry here between these today, and Andrew Norwell and Brandon Linder need to bring their best game to make sure that he doesn't wreck the game plan.
Okay, we'll come back in just a moment. The inactives are right around the corner. We'll also hear a little bit later from Dante Fowler Jr. He sat down earlier this week with Mike Dempsey, and he had a sack last week late in that game against Tom Brady.
Huge play.
And we'll see if he can replicate that again today against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans-Jaguars game is presented by Universal Orlando Resort. 1 o'clock, the kickoff time from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. This is Jaguars Radio.
The CSI Companies has been getting the people business right for more than 20 years in Jacksonville. CSI proudly opened their doors just as the Jaguars came to town, and they've been valuable business partners for some of Jacksonville's largest companies. Do you have a need for temporary help during a busy time period? Looking for a team of IT consultants for a special project? CSI can help. Call them at 800-582-0828 or go to thecsicompanies.com. Don't partner with just anyone. Partner with the CSI Companies, proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, so we're here to see who's going to go for the win. First off, Molly took it to the next level with the chairs and the coolers.
Here comes Emma, bringing it with those killer boots and that portable grill. Oh my, I think she's going for it.
Mom, I think the hot dogs are on fire.
Hold on, honey. Ladies, where did you go to get ready for the game?
Steinmart. Visit any one of our 6 locations in Jacksonville for all your tailgating needs as we proudly support the Jaguars this season. Steinmart. Saving is a beautiful thing.
This is Lori Fournette, mother of Jacksonville Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette. My son is always prepared with a game day plan, and so am I. As a busy mom, I'm always looking for easy ways to save time. Publix helps me tackle everything from pre-game prep to post-game cleanup with prices that are never out of bounds.
This week at Publix, assorted varieties of Crest 8.2-ounce toothpaste is on sale, 2 for $4.
Available at Publix where shopping is a pleasure.
Looking to tailgate your dream RV this football season? Visit Campers Inn RV and shop their huge selection of fifth wheels, motorhomes, and travel trailers from the top manufacturers. Plus, with their integrity pricing guarantee, you'll never pay more for freight or dealer prep. There are no hidden fees in their prices ever. As a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're offering this season's game attendees $500 off the purchase of a new RV. Just show them your ticket. Visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, I-10 West, exit 351, or campersinn.com today.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Grab your passport. Virgin Atlantic wants to send you and a friend across the pond to watch the Jaguars take on the Eagles in London this season. Visit jaguars.com/Virgin Atlantic to enter the Touchdown in London sweepstakes. You could win a round-trip flight on Virgin Atlantic, a 3-night hotel stay, 2 tickets, and sideline passes to the game. Don't miss out as the Jags take on the defending Super Bowl champions at Wembley Stadium. Visit jaguars.com/Virgin Atlantic. Keep calm and fly on, Jags fans.
I'm Tony Smith with your 10 local sports update. The Florida Gators looking to reestablish their dominance over the Tennessee Volunteers in the yearly rivalry last night. The Gators forced 6 turnovers on the way to a 47-21 win, improving their record to 3-1, while the Vols dropped to 2-2 on the season. Gators quarterback Felipe Franks just 9 of 18 in the victory for 172 yards and 3 touchdowns in those 9 completions. Elsewhere in the state of Florida, the Florida State Seminoles trying to get their season back on track after a bad loss to Syracuse last week. An ugly late win versus Samford the week before yesterday. The Noles were trying to work out some of the kinks on the offensive side of the ball under first-year head coach Willie Taggart. Quarterback DeAndre Francois throws for 352 yards, touchdowns and a pick in a 37-19 win for Illinois. FSU now 2-2 on the 2018 campaign. I'm Tony Smith. This has been your 1010XL local sports update. More of the Publix Tailgate Show with JP Shadrick and Mike Dempsey coming up next.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues right now.
We're back. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the HananiahAutos.com studio at TIAA Bank Field, Week 3. Titans, Jaguars, 1 o'clock the kickoff time in the home divisional opener, if you will. It's Week 3. The Jags are 2-0. The Titans are 1-1. The inactives are due. The Tennessee Titans inactives are in.
We got him. Jack Conklin still not making it back from his knee injury, although he's been practicing on a limited basis. The right tackle for the Tennessee Titans out for another week, as is his primary backup, Dennis Kelly. There were 2 of the 3 that were missing last week. Taylor Lewan is back. He'll be starting at left tackle today. Wide receiver Nick Williams, an inactive for the team. David Fluellen, a backup running back, likewise down. Safety Kendrick Lewis, guard Aaron Stinney, and Kamala Correa is out as well, linebacker for the Tennessee Titans. Those are your 7 inactives: Conklin, Kelly, Williams, Lewis, Correa, Stinney, and Fluellen.
All right. The Jaguars inactives have not been announced currently yet, so we will get to those when we return from this interview. Dante Fowler Jr., I'm going to guess he'll be active today, of course, after the sack last week against Tom Brady. You sat down with him this week. We did on another show as well. He's focused on having a solid campaign here. He's focused on football, it sounds like. He knows that they didn't give him the fifth-year option. So this is his chance to shine from here on out.
Well, hopefully it would have been his chance to shine had they picked up his fifth-year option, right? You hope that these guys are always internally motivated like that. And I think Dante's in a good spot. He seems to be in good spirits. He has a thing about playing well against the New England Patriots. Those are the last couple of games he's participated in. And to sack Tom Brady 3 times in a total of 2 games, probably not a lot of guys have done that, to be quite honest. And really, when the tide looked like it might be turning towards the New England Patriots last week as Blake Bortles threw the only interception of the game, they were already in field goal range, ready to cut it to 1 score. Dante Fowler came up with the big strip sack, fumble recovery, and it changed the tide and really stemmed the comeback from the New England Patriots. And Dante, we'll see if he can do it again this week. Here he is. Brought to you by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. We've got Dante Fowler Jr. He's back, ladies and gentlemen, making a big impact. How good did it feel to be back on the field with your teammates last week?
Feels great, just be able to come out here and play the game that I love, and just be able to go back out there with the team and play team ball and get wins.
You talked about leading up to the Patriots game, how last year the AFC Championship game was a little bit of your coming out party, right? Mm-hmm. 2 sacks to Tom Brady. You come up with the big play after a turnover again. Something about that team, man, it brings out the best in you.
Yeah, just being able to show guys, that I'm a good player and I'm a clutch player. I'm able to make game-changing plays and, big plays for my team so we can be able to get the win. Moment, that whole game I was getting after him, and I just had to, stay determined and stay consistent, and that's the biggest thing this week, just consistency, being able to do it week in and week out. So I can't wait till Sunday to be able to show you guys another good game.
We see you dancing out there, right? and then we kind of know you're getting revved up. How much are you playing off that home crowd, which was pretty phenomenal last week?
It was great, just me being back to my old self, me feeling back, to my old self, just super confident. All the work that I put in during the week, I just knew that it was paying off that day, and I was just feeling myself. And Sunday will be another good day. The fans will be out there. It'll be a nice, good afternoon game again after the Tennessee Titans, and have the stadium rocking again.
The fact that they beat you twice last year, I'm sure you remember that. And I know last year is last year, but is this maybe the best rivalry game you guys have on an annual basis since you've been here?
Definitely. Just another good team. We match really well on paper as far as offense and defense. They beat us last year twice, so they think that they feel like they were the division champions, and we just have to go out and show them guys who the real division champions were. And I also get that bad taste out of our mouth. They beat us twice last year, and we're going to take this game personal, from a respect standpoint and, bragging rights.
You guys started the last year hot, and then you came back and they beat you in the second game. You kind of got over that a little bit. You went on the road, you won, you came back, handled a big opponent. I don't think there's any problem with the focus with this particular opponent this week, but do you feel like you've learned some lessons from that 500 start through the first 6 games last year that you were able to become more consistent in the second half, and you've kind of carried that over in the early part of the season?
Yes, sir. Just being able to, capitalize off your mistakes, go back in the film room, the things that, everybody may not see, something that probably could have got you that week, make sure correct it and things like that, correct all the things that you need to correct so you can be ready for next week, just in case if those teams try you with any of those things, you be on top of it and you be ready. But just being able to get these wins, it's something that we're not used to, but it's really cool, just to see the team handle it the right way. We have guys and players, that's been on championship teams, been on Super Bowl teams, so the help with them and them just being able to show us, how it's supposed to be done, and us feeding off of them, it's just helping us grow together as a team and, mature a lot as a team as well, especially with us being young. But, it's just really cool, especially with us being young, a lot of young players fresh out of college, and just being able to, win on this level and on this stage, it's really awesome.
Your health good? You feel good?
Yeah, I feel good, feel stronger, faster. And, my upper body is getting stronger as well. So it's just really cool, to see how things are playing out. And, I just can't wait till Sunday.
Yeah, hey, look, if you can sack the quarterback and still recover the fumble when somebody's laying on you, I think you're probably feeling okay.
I was thinking the same thing. Like my shoulder may be all right, so it was really cool. I just want to go out there and keep making plays for the team and for the city of Duval and hear that stadium roar like it was roaring last Sunday. It is going to be a great day. I can't wait for everybody to come out and see all those happy faces.
Let's hope it happens again today. Dante, thanks for the time as always.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Great conversation with Dante Fowler Jr. there. The Jaguars' inactives have been announced, starting with wide receiver Rashad Green. He is inactive today. DJ, the nickel cornerback, inactive, so you'll probably see some Patman and some Ronnie Harrison at nickel corner for the Jags today. Running back Leonard Fournette, inactive for this game today. Eli Ankou, defensive tackle. Right guard A.J. Cann, inactive. Will Richardson, backup offensive lineman. And defensive end DeJuan Smoot, inactive. Those are the 7 down today. T.J. Yeldon will start at running back in place of Leonard Fournette. And Chris Reed will make the start at right guard in place of A.J. Cann today. So 2 changes on the offensive line today. Cam Robinson's out for the year. Josh Wells makes the start at left tackle there and will for the rest of the season. And Chris Reed at right guard today for A.J. Cann, who was on the injury report this week, the triceps issue. It is now to Jaguars sideline reporter Rick Ballou, a segment we call Has Rick Lost It?
I don't know if I've lost it, but I'll tell you what, those inactives got to change the way I feel about what's going to go on in an hour and 20 minutes. First things first, I can't believe Blaine Gabbert is only worth 2 points to the folks in Las Vegas. That line was around 6.5, 7 if Mariota was to play. Really started to circulate on Friday that it would be the return of Blaine Gabbert, so that line right now sits at 9. We'll see how much that changes here before kickoff with the announcement that Leonard Fournette is not going to play. But today is about consistency. Let's face it. The Jaguars were outstanding last week against New England. But I think that game meant a little bit more to them than they let on. A year ago in Houston, I'll admit it, I didn't think they could win that game. You had the hurricane in Texas. You had J.J. Watt take that field with the Texas state flag. He was absolutely phenomenal. What did the Jaguars do? Punched them right in the mouth. 10 sacks. They got after it offensively. But then the consistency went away. Came back home here. Lost to Tennessee. Go to London. Pound. I thought it was the toughest game. B. Good Blake, we saw it a week ago. Bad Blake, those who subscribe to the glass half empty when it comes to Blake Bortles, you begin to wonder today. Guys, I was ready to put this on as much Nate Hackett as Blake Bortles because I expected the return today of Leonard Fournette. Now let's come out one moment ago. He will not play. Is it a good thing? What I mean by this is last week, in my opinion, Nate Hackett and Blake Bortles really kept me guessing. 21 passes on first down. You go back to that fourth quarter against New England in January, it was almost too predictable. You could sense what they were doing. That was not the case a week ago. So, are they going to go 45 passes, 24 runs today? No, that's not going to happen. You'd like it to be 35 and 35. But again, with Nate Hackett, a little bit more of keeping the defense guessing. That along with the fact that this home field has become so dominant, they have a chance to win today. Their 8th consecutive game. Not going to be as hot as it was 1 week ago, but it is still nasty out there. They're better with Fournette. But as far as the overall game plan, maybe they're better off today doing what they did 7 days ago. JP?
There he is, Rick Ballou with Has Rick Lost It? I don't think he has lost it. I think this is pretty much because it worked pretty darn well last week against New England.
You don't usually win, Mike, when you pass it 45 times and run it 24.
It depends. I mean, this team, we're not used to seeing it win necessarily with that formula. And I think, Rick, the question is, when Fournette is healthy, what does the offense look like? If they go out today and they're more open like they were last week and they have success again, do you have to find a way to integrate Leonard Fournette into that kind of scheme?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he would play today. I'm surprised by this.
It's just another week to rest it.
There you go.
Let's see. You can't rush back from this.
No,
thing.
you really can't because it's a nagging injury that can be there for the entire year.
You don't need that at all. And what's your feel today?
I like 27-13, Jack. Again, I mean, this Blaine Gabbert thing, these Jag fans here about, hour and 15 minutes from kickoff, they've got to be just chomping at the bit with an opportunity to get a Gabbert here this afternoon. This is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, here in Jacksonville, fun.
No doubt.
Gabbert, Casey, Deion Lewis.
All the above.
I'm going to go back.
Bring him on.
Yeah, the whole lot of them.
No Mike Mularkey this year, though.
He's
not there
Well,
anymore.
he's on Atlantic Beach, I believe.
He's probably right. He might be.
Watching the game on TV or listening. He should be listening to you guys on radio. Listen to us.
I'm sure he does. For the Jaguars Radio Network. Coming up on the Publix Tailgate Show, a visit with the Ozone. Jaguars.com senior writer John Ogier with us live in studio. Jeff Loggeman, Tony Baselli return as well. Jaguars Radio Network coverage starts at noon with countdown to kickoff. We're a little over an hour away from Week 3. The Tennessee Titans at 1-1 and the Jacksonville. And from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this is Jaguars Radio.
Every 51 minutes, someone dies in a drunk driving crash. If you think it can't happen to you or that your actions won't affect others, think again. I got behind the wheel drunk and caused a crash that took the lives of 2 young women. Before you drink, have a plan and know all your options. One bad decision can last forever. Take it from me, Eric, prison inmate P22679.
This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Jaguars fans, Ashley Home Store is where you'll find the perfect Tempur-Pedic mattress to power your life. As the #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer in America and the official furniture and mattress store of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Ashley Home Store offers Jaguars fans special pricing and 72 months no-interest financing. Just tell them the Jaguars sent you. Plus, a portion of every mattress helps provide to
Jaguars MVP. At Mellow Mushroom, it all depends on their favorite ingredients. Each month of the 2018 season, Mellow Mushroom will highlight a Jaguars player's most valuable pizza and raise money for a charity of their choice. This September, try the Funky Q and support Blake Bortles and the Blake Bortles Foundation and its work with first responders and individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Visit mellowmushroom.com and find a restaurant location near you.
Attention Jags fans, this is your chance for you and 3 of your friends to fly to Houston to see the Jaguars take on the Houston Texans December 30th. All you have to do is download the free Money Pages app today, and you can enter to win airfare, hotel stay, and tickets to the big game, all covered. The savings don't stop there. When you download the free Money Pages mobile app, you'll unlock great local savings on the go. So it's simple. Pick up your phone, go to the App Store, and search for the free Money Pages app. Good luck, and go Jaguars!
Brooks Rehabilitation is the official rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brooks offers rehabilitation services such as inpatient care, outpatient, skilled nursing, home health, assisted living, and memory care. They also have a wide range of community programs, as well as a comprehensive pediatric program. Brooks offers high-quality care from their expert clinical team to help you meet your rehabilitation goals. To learn more, visit brooksrehab.org. That's brooksrehab.org. Be the MVP of your next tailgate with the official wing of the Jacksonville Jaguars from Dick's Wings and Grill. Whether at the stadium or cheering from home, game day every day with Dick's 365 wing varieties, burgers, wraps, and more. And for somewhere to catch all the sports, Dick's Wings and Grill's 23 area locations have been a local fan favorite for more than 20 years. For the best wings, ice-cold craft beer, and best fans, feed where the big cats feast. Visit DicksWingsAndGrill.com for a location nearest you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Final moments of the Publix Tailgate Show. Titans Jaguars at 1 o'clock. The game today presented by Universal Orlando Resort. Check out the new daily shows on Jaguars.com, Jaguars social media. Jags Drive Time, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. John Ozier's on a few of those days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Jaguars Happy Hour, Monday through Thursday, starting at 4. Tony Baselli's on a couple of those. And those are available on the team website, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars social media. Time for a visit with the Ozone.
The Ozone.
Jaguars.com senior writer John Ogier with us. Tony Baselli jumps in with us as well. Hey, John. Good morning.
No,
I don't know.
I guess
he's doing something.
Logs decided not to join us today.
I don't know.
Maybe we should just talk to him. Anyway. Just pretend he's there, like Marino's locker in Miami.
So the inactives are out, and of course Cam Robinson's done for the year. You got the other two guys, Linder and Parnell, who are on the report pretty much every week. Not quite the a week ago, you wouldn't have thought this would have been the case in the offense.
Well, I'll leave the heavy analysis to the analysis expert of the offensive line, but Chris Reed played well in the past, and that's behind these guys now. DJ Hayden being out is a little more, to me, concerning because they didn't know about that really until Friday. He wasn't on the injury report until Friday. Tyler Patman steps in there, and you wonder how much they go to that big nickel with Ronnie Harris, and you would think that's a big package, as it has been the first 2 weeks.
The only thing, John, where I'm not – if we were playing a different team, I'd be worried about DJ Hayden.
Right.
But the forward pass will be at a premium for the Tennessee
Well, you
Titans
guys are
today.
confident.
No. Listen,
talking some smack, I get it.
I'm confident in the fact of their offense is just not very good watching the tape.
Yeah,
defensively, this is a good unit now.
But on offense, they get people blocked and give their quarterback time to get it out.
They didn't last week.
You guys are kind of discounting. Tyler Patman's a good football player.
Yeah, he is.
And he competed for the nickel spot. I mean, he's not DJ Hayden, but
so
he
keep
can play
looking at the
nickel.
depth chart, and I keep seeing guys starting that aren't starting, and I think, well, maybe those guys aren't as good as the guys who are starting.
Let's not overreact. I mean, Tyler Patman's a good football player.
Ozone, my point is this: I know you're more concerned overall about this game than maybe I am. This defense does concern me for the Titans. They have three really good players up front: Derek Morgan, Brian Arak, Jarrell Casey. Those three
very underrated, in my opinion.
I agree.
Really good.
Good players. I like the Morgan-Parnell matchup because it's just going to be a train wreck every time, big fight. I mean, two big men. I mean, they're just going to go battle. But Jarrell Casey's given this team fits, and now you have no A.J. Ken. I agree Chris Reed has played well, but it's a big test. And you got Josh Wells against Arakpo, who's not the Arakpo he was a few years ago where he could take over games, but a good player. This concerned me a little bit.
Point about Chris Reed. I mean, in the past, he's played left guard. And I'm not saying that everybody can play left or right. Some guys can do it better than others. I mean, so going from left guard to now right guard, that's a little bit of a change for him. I think he's a good football player, and I think he's a very physical player, but I'm going to be curious to see how he does on the right side.
I think the first half is really big for this Jaguars offense. I just told Tony during the break. I kept going back this week. The Jaguars offense didn't score a significant touchdown against the Titans last year. They didn't score until they were down 30-3 out here in week 2, and they didn't score at all in December. Now, I get the December game. I'm the first one to discount it if you're
I'm more concerned about this game than you
No,
are,
I'm
Tony, and
not
other people
saying I'm
are,
not concerned.
because a lot of people are predicting the Jaguars to win like 30-1
Yeah, I keep saying,
to 2
well,
or something. I
well,
don't get that.
That was me.
38-9 and like 80-6.
No, 38-9.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Can I
see
be
a very
a couple turnovers,
low-scoring
they're gonna
game,
score?
and I see that this is a very difficult game for the Jaguars. It's a division opponent. They're always difficult against
I think
Tennessee.
it's going to be tight. I mean, a tough game, don't get me wrong, because their defense is good. I just think the Titans' offense is going to turn it over multiple times because I think they're going to they're just not very good. Watching the tape, all I can do is go by watching the tape the first 2 weeks, and this is a unit that is not very good. They're going to be playing their fourth offensive tackle at right tackle today. You know, Luan's coming off a concussion.
Well, they got a little consistency at right tackle. They'll probably end up having Pamfield, or they'll end up having a guy Merritt's that they played there last week.
I know, but is their fourth tackle, Jeff. You understand that.
But one point about you said you think they're going to turn the ball over. The Titans have turned the ball over 3 times in 2 games. And a couple of them with a quarterback that had a nerve problem, couldn't even grip a football. So it's not like they've been a turnover machine.
I'm just telling you, I think this is a game where the Jaguars offense gets some short fields and scores some points. I'm not saying I do not think New England Patriot game where they're putting up 500 yards of offense, but I think they're going to score because of short fields because they're the better team.
I'll feel a lot better when they get that first touchdown against these guys. There's something, and maybe I'm too locked in on that. And
you are locked. You are.
Tony's scoffing at me a little bit.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not scoffing at you because I've learned not to scoff at you because the last couple times I've scoffed at you, you've been right. I just don't. I don't know how. My point is, John, I don't know how much of a carryover from last year to this year. If you look at week 2 when they played them, this was a team that still had zero confidence in Blake Bortles and was so vanilla and was so basic.
And it was their worst game.
And it was their worst game of the year. You go to week 17. I mean, come on. It was freezing. It meant nothing for this Jaguar team. I mean, there's a lot of different things that went into that. Offense now, in my opinion, is playing well.
I think it's going to be fascinating to see how they approach.
And I think they're going to be aggressive. I think they'll be aggressive against the Titans.
Even with the offensive line stuff. Right?
Yes. I think you're still going to see more run than you did against New England because they got a good rush and they don't want to just sit back there and throw it 50 times. Yeah. But I still think they're going to be creative. I think they're going to get after it. And I think because Blake is so much better, I think this team is going to win. And I have them winning by at least 10.
Here's the one thing that when I hear that, you said Blake is so much better. In the first week, he wasn't very good. Okay? Last week against the Patriots, he had his best game.
Hold on, Jeff. Wait a second. You're saying he's not better than he was week 2 of last year?
No, he's better than that in week 2.
Okay,
but my point is that
I think he was okay in the first half.
I do too.
I think a lot of people are assuming that, since Blake had a monster game against the New England Patriots, that's the way it's going to be week in and week out. I mean, look, he's got to find a level of consistency in his play.
I said he's better than he was last year week 2.
He's categorically more consistent now than he was last season. They've adapted to that sense. So,
and he has some drops early in that game against the Giants.
Some big drops. And if you look, I'm just talking to people in the building, watching how they play. They trust Blake Bortles now. I actually throw out what this team did offensively in the first 10 games almost last year because it was an offense built around not to screw up. Let's just run the ball, play field position, and not ask Blake to do too much. They started opening it up later in the season. We saw it in the playoffs against Pittsburgh. They opened it up. For part of
they didn't against Buffalo.
Well, because that was on purpose. They were told not to. They were told to play a close to the vest team game. I mean that was the game plan going in. I'm just telling you, Blake Bortles is night and day different from a confidence level and a production level as far as how he plays the game.
When the offense has been told to open it up in the last 8 or so games,
they played well.
They've opened up and played well.
That's right.
And I know for a fact they were told not to in Buffalo.
Who is the big standout for the Jags today, guys? One player to watch. John?
I'm going to go Westbrook, because I think Tony's right. I think they're going to throw. I think they have to throw against this team. I think if they get into we're going to outrun, out-physical you, I don't think they're going to win that way. You wonder if they'll stop Keelan Cole a little bit and if Dede will have a big game.
So I hope it's Miles because he's got to stop the running game of the Tennessee Titans. He's got to be able to contend with some of the pass drops. I mean, because, look, they don't have – a great tight end in Delaney Walker anymore, but the backs are a part of the passing game too because Deion look out of the backfield. So hopefully Miles Jack has a monster game.
I'll ask a football 101 question, you guys. How important are the cornerbacks tackling today?
Oh, extremely, because they're going to try to isolate Derrick Henry.
As big as it is all season, right?
All year. They're going to isolate him, trying to get one-on-one matchups. John, team comes out, and I'll agree with you, both you and Jeff. If they come out and try to outrun and outbeat up the Titans in that type of game, then you're looking at a 3-point game that can go
which is scary against this team.
That's right. That can go either way in the fourth quarter. I'm assuming they're not going to do that. Listen, I think it's Blake Bortles. I've been very impressed with Blake through preseason. I'm with John. I think week 1